It's all about trying to communicate with people. How would you go about trying to communicating the truth to people when you have all the evidence and everything right there in front of you, but people are taking it like you don't know what in the hell you're talking about? Even when the evidence that's in front of them, how are we being fooled? Say, for instance, like with Clinton emails, the FBI, CIA, DOJ is all like trying to tell us an alternative truth, which is a lie, but yet half the public is believing it, and the other half are going, "You're lying," and the other half are sticking by the lie because of why? Why would you think?
Well, I mean, one, you have the people in politics that were voted in by other people, and that's who they're going to believe. They're like, I voted that dude in, I'm going to believe him, I like him. So, I mean, that's number one reason for people to believe in shit.
Well,
Two,
but yet,
people just don't care, so
no.
they choose the less thinking one. Whatever takes less thinking to figure out the answer, whether it's a real answer or not, they're going to go with the less thinking. They don't want to dive into it and fucking waddle through the muddle of the mess.
Well, you're saying they just don't want to put any effort towards trying to find out the truth, so just give me the lie because I got to go to work.
Yeah, basically.
And what was the third one you were going to say?
I don't remember now. I got lost in a second.
Well, see, that's what we do. We get lost in that deal. So we have. That's how come we have to talk about stuff like that. But it's kind of weird how you have all the evidence there in front of you, but yet nobody is going to do nothing about it on the legality side. And they should be on them, arresting them, putting them in jail, and letting due process take its course. And then but yet they're trying to like prolong it, let them get away with all the destroying of evidence and everything. And then when they think they've got it all destroyed, then they try to throw charges at them. But since they can't find anything, they're like, oh, now we got to just give them immunity or just let them go or say sorry or hand them more money. And yet nothing gets done. They let these same people go in the banks and all these corporations that are the bosses that say what goes on. But yet when they destroy people's lives by, causing all this fraud and millions of dollars paid out in fines, but nobody loses their job. And if we tried to do that, with just a simple cell phone business, we'd be in prison right now, the federal joint. And then they arrest people federally and make up charges on them just to get them to confess about something that they want, even though they didn't have anything to do with it. That's that old school, I'm a gangster, you're going to listen or I'm going to make sure you go under.
Right.
So how are they getting away with this? Why are the intelligent, smart people and cops and it's just and etc. How are they getting away with it? How are smart individuals letting this stuff overcome them? I could keep talking about the same thing with Islam and Muslim, the extreme. Anyway, how these extreme people are, and these people women just go right to it, but yet they've got PhDs and they're still a Muslim when they know that that's just a farce, a cult that's dealt by death if you don't join it, or if you try to leave, they'll kill you and your family and your family's family. That sounds like how our government wants to be. Our government would love, they go and arrest people, mock up charges on them, and you got to confess to it or they'll just keep you in there. Because they're the federal government. We have to listen, and if we don't, then they pretty much can get rid of you. That's not the basis of living in America and the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. I mean, what is going on with people not understanding what the truth is? I just don't get it. I especially when I'm looking at a very intelligent, a genius individual, and he's a Hillary supporter, and knowing that she's just crooked as hell, but then they call it the lesser of two evils, which you don't, no matter what, if it's evil, you don't mess with it. And they say it's out of their boundaries when they're the ones voting for them to make them go into that boundary. I don't get I don't get where people are pretending still and trying to legitimize something that they supposedly have a clue on. That when it comes to
there's like two things I can think of. The one, that's because people really truly have lost God, and number two, everyone's a slave to the dollar bill because you're a slave to your own fucking greed and your own dreams. I mean, people just haven't gone past that point. And they don't care to. That's the problem.
No, because they're caught up in the money swirl. Like these stars that are out there doing all these dances, all this Illuminati crap. So the Wackademia takes and puts it all out there on the airways with that wacky ass lyric. You got great music, but the lyrics of it are totally evil. I mean, and then people go, well, there's no such thing as a heaven or a hell. Well, then you just don't want to research it to find out because, one, you're either too slow or you're too stupid to understand reasoning and open-mindedness, which I'm not judging in the fact because I'm talking about the truth, not about some superficial made-up theory that they try to say evolution is when they've already proved it wrong scientifically with how many genes we have in our body. None of them match the ape, and yet they're still going, well, that's a lie and a farce because I was told to tell you that.
All right. That's why I want to create a new society. That's a from society.
Well, it's hard to create a new society when they still love the old one, and it's just that used to thing. It's like an old person. Don't come around. You can't change nothing.
But that's where the problem starts, though. You're born and raised to go to school to be taught how to be a person to live in society. That's it. You're not taught the truth. You're not taught what's real. You're taught how to live in society and society's rules. That's it. Anything else you got to figure out basically on your own. You got to question yourself, your own beliefs. It's fucked up.
Well,
then you're a slave because of the dreams, your hopes that you create in your own mind. You realize I can't do this unless I have money. So you work yourself to the bone. So you get the money to accomplish your dream, and that right there keeps you away from any answers.
Well, I think most of it too, yeah, people they just don't want to be interested in it because they know it's a lot of work. Most of people that, if you want to talk religion, that have been into Catholicism and they've gotten ruined or brainwashed by that occult that used to kill you too, just like the Muslims, and all for their God and pretending like it's the God of Abraham and through Jesus Christ. But yet they use the Mary theory, the Mary's in this, the Mary's in, and all these other deals, which of course there's always spokesmen for God basically, or prophets, but not the ones that they pick. Who said you had to go through their doctrine and see, you just go through question after question after question. And if you want to have an openness of something, then you've got a guy who's up there called the Pope that wants to change it by every time the wind blows. Now he's saying to be gay is okay. Well, of course people still love you. It's just the reasoning behind it. 2 + 2 = 4. That's a man and a woman equaling a kid. Well, I'd say 3, but hey, people are taking it to where they want to use an excuse. Well, so-and-so, there's too many people. There's too many guys. There's too many girls. There's a lot of kids ready to adopt. I mean, everything is an excuse. They don't want to accept the truth, so they live with a lie. And then people accept their lie because look at how we are now. You've got a guy up there trying to tell the truth like Trump, and everybody else is calling him a liar on the other side. And those are the ones that have all the money that are... I just can't, and most of them that are mad anyway are LGBTQ and sometimes whatever else they want to be. So those people have the power in those jobs now, and they're trying to change it with that routine, knowing that it's pure, unadulterated evil, because those fantasies you're supposed to put back and not try to make the sin of it. And there's where you grow in that. You become a grown, you grow and become an adult. But if you accept all that and try to block every fantasy that's out there, and then you want to pretend to be something you're not, everything's going to be false and fake and totally evil. And they pretend like, it's going to be different because they're gay. There's no difference in emotions, whether it's with a man or a woman. You're still going to have the same emotions, but then when you get a man who wants to be a woman or a woman who wants to be a man, those people, the suicidal rates are like 40-50%. So it's like that means that there's something wrong in that field. But how come smart people are just letting them get away with stuff like that? And with the fetuses, the way they're trapping them with that, with abortions and pretending like women, they're all for it because they want to be a slut. And then when you want a person out there that wants to protect life, they're like, oh, you're trying to control me. What? You know, it's doing as thy will is what it sounds like.
Right.
So what do you now? Why are people in? You know, why? How come smart people can't see the reasoning behind that if they're trying to be so open-minded to be gay? Because it's all fake. I think my opinion is it's all fake, phony, and full of you know what.
Right.
Because you weren't born that way. You look down your pants. That's just the way it is. If you try to make up something that's different, there's your sign. You need to go to a doctor. That's what it's all about, and you need to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, then you, just like every day, you have to fight to try to, you know, make that right. And making it right by taking and having sex with with the same sex, and it doesn't create anything. That means that there's something wrong with it. We're not animals. We try to pretend like we're next to them, but we're not. We're on the highest food chain. What the hell's going on here?
But even then, animals might show gay tendencies, but they know that you can only mate to have birth to create life.
Well, I tell you what, if all animals acted gay, we wouldn't have any animals. And also, if everybody was gay, there wouldn't be any more people, but they pretend like, you know, that's a farce. But keep going and see what it brings you in 3 generations from now to 4, that if you're straight, it's going to be an issue. And how come you're not bi? Everybody's bi or one way, you know, or a fag. Bi or a fag, you can't be straight. And, you know, everybody's doing this white privilege and this white man bullshit. It's like, what? And nobody wants to stand up for who they are because everybody wants to give in like they're a beta. You know, don't be an alpha male. Oh, no, don't do that. You know, then you're standing up for your masculinity and blah, blah, blah. We want you to have a little feminine in you and go beta on us so we can, you know, control you a little bit better like we do women. And the women don't even get it that they're being used and manipulated and valleyed and allied. And they're just like, oh, you don't have an idea on what you're talking about. I've got a PhD. You have no clue. I'm pretty sure you don't have to go to school to have common sense. And my PhD or my GPA is still 4.0, you know, after 120, 30 some odd credits. So what are you trying to tell me? You know, it's like, no, I think that way was wrong. I got educated, you know, wrongly, I guess you would say. They didn't speak the truth. They only spoke what was in the book because they were just collecting their paycheck. There was no passion behind it. You know, there was in my math teacher and my spelling teacher, but, you know, basically when I got to everything else as I started getting older, it was all, you know, had the coach teaching biology, and he was a coach, and he just did it because the teachers were on vacation and leaving. I mean, come on, man. He shouldn't even have been in there. But, yeah, they do stuff like that constantly, and it's like most of the teachers all worried about their money over everything else, you know, and then it just all loses. It's like, what's okay, you're in the millennial deal. Then if you're a millennial and you got all these millennials that are against Trump, why would you say they're against Trump then?
They're all snowflakes. Now, they're not all against Trump, I'll tell you that. There's a lot of people my age that, you know, figured it out too, though.
But they didn't figure it out when they should have figured it out. Why would you think that is? At the point that it needs, at the emergency time that it's needed, they didn't figure it out till later, and then they went, well, never mind. Why would you think they couldn't figure it out to begin with?
Well, the people that we protesting are all from fucking, gay towns of California, fucking, New York, and they're basically all gay people that make up half them rallies, and then they're friends. And that's it.
Well, they're being told a narrative, and they believed it with Hillary, even though she was gangster in the election, and all the Democrats were all involved in it because they don't give a shit, and they follow blindly just to keep their money tree going. They could care less as long as they keep their money. And when Trump come in and cut it all off, look at them all whining now, and half the Republicans whining because he chopped off their money tree, and they're getting all upset about it. So then they make up all this stuff to get him impeached or this, that, and the other. And then they keep trying to manipulate him into fucking up. Then he does all the big things that America wanted. The peace with Korea, this, that, and the other stuff. Our trade balanced and equal. And everybody thinks that's a farce, that he's not trying to. Nobody wants to research it either. They just want to make their opinion and instantly go, he's wrong. It's like, are you an economic advisor? Did you take economics and get a major or a PhD in it? Or what was one of your majors in college that, you get advised from? You haven't, it's like, I don't get it. And then they get even smarter. I think when you catch those people, that whatever's in them, that demon, whatever you want to call it, that spiritual block, it's just they want to argue against the truth, and they're trying to defend a lie, a pure lie. Trying to use Hillary as like she knew something when she had no great achievements at all. Her whole career of 25, 30 years of being in office. She's Secretary of Defense. What did she do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Constituent of what area in New York? She did absolutely nothing, dude. The opposite extreme happened in the bad. But did people notice that? No, they didn't. You know why? Because they didn't give a shit. They just didn't want Trump. Now Trump's in there and then Clinton's even started back that foundation again. Like they're getting ready to do something like, hey, we didn't get busted, so we're going to, let's start this all over again. When really, both of them are completely out. There's not too much more they can pull anymore because she's ruined and burnt all the bridges that she could burn, except for probably a few. But dude, man, none of the Secret Service want to work with her. Nobody wants to work around her. She's a complete bitch. It's like Rob Bogovich's wife. She was, allegedly known for all this. It's like, and then she comes on TV wanting him to get, out of prison. He has been in there long enough, I would say, but they don't ever need to go back around any type of political anything ever again. They need to get back to the middle class and just stay there. Don't go anywhere else. But see, I think that, just like anybody else, they're money hungry and want to promote and do as much as they can in order, But he will never rise in that again, and neither will she. And she's probably should have been the one that went with him. But, hey, that's allegedly, and that's just speaking on opinion. But I don't understand. There's so many things and so many people and so much going on, and the truth is there. But, when you find it out, it's just unbelievable, and nobody wants to believe it. No, not everybody wants to believe it.